All right. WeWork, they declared Chapter 11.
Yeah.
And it's Neumann, the founder and the former CEO, is probably one of the most unique personalities we've ever witnessed.
Yeah, good parties, I heard.
Yeah. So, so now, if ever in a hypothetical situation you were appointed the CEO of WeWork after all this, what do you think you can do to recover?
I think what it comes down to is, I think we talked a little bit about that, is that there's, Regis has been doing WeWork basically for 30 years. But they are affordable. They offer a lot of services, mail services, and they make a little bit of money on everything. They have a good infrastructure. They're in a lot of places. They're like almost everywhere in the world. They're in Australia. They offer small spaces, short-term rentals. They really found the niche market because most people starting out or maybe need a place to set up shop or get out of their house, but they don't have a lot of money. And most people that are going to build a successful business don't care about free beer. Right? I mean, that's really what it comes down. If you like walked into WeWork and you're like, oh my God, look at the plants, look at this, look at that, like, oh, the beer. If that's the thing that sold you, your business is probably not going to do too well, So I think it's finding that right balance. I don't think they can survive because the leases that they have are based on leases that were signed many years ago. So unless they can go in and renegotiate all of those leases down by like 60-70%, I don't know how they can make the numbers make sense. I've been in it. We almost rented one. At one point, I went in there. I thought it was really a beautiful space, but what they were asking for the office compared to what we pay here was like 3 or 4 times. So I mean, I don't know how much beer people can drink, but it just didn't make financial sense.
You probably
for
don't
us.
want drunk people talking.
I probably don't want drunk people talking on the phone about precious metals. So.
But you're also a real estate guy. Now, a huge part of the WeWork business was transforming supposedly how people work and live.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that the trend of converting a lot of office spaces to also become a residential space so that it's like a live and work kind of place, do you think that's going to work?
I live work buildings work very well, but not the way that that's set up. Like if you go to different cities and they have a live work condo, those sell like hotcakes because people do like the idea, if you're an architect, that you could have your house maybe upstairs and then downstairs your office. Those flourish and those sell at a huge premium because that's really a convenient way to do it. If you're an architect, maybe you have 1 or 2 employees, you're working upstairs, you have your backyard in the back, and then you come down and you got your office. Or you're a lawyer and you do the same thing. Those kind of businesses make a lot of sense. But live work in a big older office building that's not really outfitted for that is a massive cost. Do people want to be in groups and work and be around other people? Absolutely. I think they do want to have that environment, and there's a lot of companies that rent out of not WeWork but other places just because they're people that work there want to get out of their office, out of their home maybe once a week. So there is a need for it, but I don't think that WeWork offered a product that was price conscious enough coming in. If they were less price coming in, their mistake is that they had a high price tag for the offices, and then they thought everything would be included. Whereas Regis does the opposite. Regis actually makes it really cheap to come in, and then they just nickel and dime you. And that's actually where they make money, because then you go, wait, I need to do some copies. They go, well, we got to charge you per copy. And then they go, oh, you want mail services? You want us to ship your mail? Oh, we'll charge you. And then, so it looks cheap coming in, but then they add on the services the other way. And that was a smarter way to do it, whereas WeWork just tried to have one more expensive price, and the market just didn't take to it.
So the commercial real estate industry is in trouble.
Is dead.
Do you think they can sort of rechannel the building so that it becomes live work kind of?
I think a lot of these buildings are going to try to, and I know they're trying it in different parts of the country. The cost to turn a high-rise office building that was built in the 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s, 2000s to a living is very difficult because the way the setups are, the way the bathrooms are, kitchens, you're not going to have water in all the places that you need. And that's really the big expense. Certain areas were able to, downtown LA was able to do it easily because those were loft spaces. They were already high ceilings, they made them kind of small, and they were able to easily convert those. But these newer buildings, the way the setup is, it's going to be very difficult and very costly. I think a lot of buildings will sit vacant in LA, San Francisco, Dallas, New York for the next 10 years. And then eventually they'll come in with some legislation. They'll give these developers some money to redo it, because that's really the only way they're going to be able to afford it, is to give these developers some tax advantages to change how these buildings are set up.